Here we go for realsies this time. I hate that term for realsies. Why did I listen to my own generation? What the hell? Yeah, I'm feeling a little cranky right now. So I walked out to this field to rant and start this new video series while everybody probably looks at me and wonders what the heck I'm doing making YouTube videos in the middle of an open field. I wanted to tell, this is just sort of a little rant about people. It's kind of a lousy day. So I'm a little inspired by two YouTubers I've been watching a lot. You know, I've been watching Life is Overrated 36. I found him one day when I just typed that into the address bar. And then there's Bithead 1000, who I basically ran into. I feel like I kind of have parallels to both of them. Since I'm older and I'm middle-aged, but I'm also still kind of held on to a little bit of my youth, I guess. As much as I hate to admit it. Yeah, so here we are in the middle of a field, walking around, talking on the phone. Yeah, how millennial of me. Let's start this rant talking about that, the stupid shit that is this ageist generational bullshit. First and foremost, let's start with me. I don't consider myself special at all. I don't consider myself a part of anything special. I don't see my age group as special. Actually, I hate the age group I'm lumped into. I'm lumped into the millennial age group because of the year I'm in. But I have more in common with Gen X than I do with millennials. Yeah, well, you guys were getting handed everything in positive reinforcement. I was getting in corporal punishment, getting in trouble, and living the analog life. You know? I was the last person in my social group to have a cellular phone in 2005. I was the last person to learn to drive in my generation because my parents didn't just hand me a car. They gave me a Ford Explorer I still have and told me, you need to learn to drive this within a week or I'm selling it for $500. And let me tell you, the struggles I had getting a fucking car are part of the reason I still have said car today. Not because I'm scared, but because of the fact I actually appreciate my shit, which nobody really seems to do anymore. Yeah. I'm also a little mad. I was kind of reminded today of a certain person around me. Not a friend. Duckies. Yeah. Maybe I have ADHD. I don't know. But, yeah, I was reminded by about a certain person today who basically went off on a fit about millennials about a few years ago. And I was like, I feel just like that person. And then that person, got on my ass today. I'm like, serious, you don't even fucking know me. So don't start passing fucking judgment. I'm trying to divvy up my time the best I fucking can. And if you can't respect that, fuck you. Yeah. I'd say maybe the first thing I'd like to complain about on this is, does anybody notice the quality of human beings has been dropping since, I don't know, 20 years ago at least? Yeah, seriously. In my lifetime, I still remember what it was like to be 5. I remember my own mom telling me at freaking 6 that, yeah, you can royally fuck up your life so freaking much, you won't be able to live after a while. You'll starve to death on the street. It's reality, and I think more kids should have gotten that. Yeah. I wasn't handed anything. I pretty much raised myself. I had to learn to fix everything myself. I had to build my own toys, fix my own toys when I was a kid. I started a lawn mowing service. I learned how to build lawnmowers. Yeah, not just freaking fix them. I learned how to go to the street corners and figure out how to make parts from a Murray and MTD and a Lawn Boy all fit each other. And safely, I might add. I learned to build guitars when I couldn't afford the instruments I wanted in high school, so I built them myself. Heaven knows I still have my first car because of the basic fact I learned how to service that myself, because you can't trust a business these days with anything. You take your car to the shop and they say, oh, it's this problem. It's going to be $850. I'm like, $850 fucking dollars? I can do it for $45 in my freaking driveway. Screw you. And then when you ask them to do it, first off, it wasn't the problem to begin with. And second off, they didn't even do what they said they were going to do anyway. And you find the same factory freaking parts from like 30 years ago in the same freaking car. You can't trust businesses. I have a family member who's getting screwed over by a fucking dental clinic and a drama that's been dragged on by about 9 months. And I complain about this stuff. People are like, you're not special. You're not special. Nobody's special. Yeah, I don't expect special treatment. I expect people to do their fucking job. If we have laws and rules and regulations in this society, what's the point in having them if nobody lives up to them? Is there some grand conspiracy I'm not aware of? Some grand attempt to shut the whole fucked up system down by just refusing to do anything? I really want to know. Maybe you can leave that in the bleep bloop box down there. Some people are probably listening to me talk about this stuff, and they're probably going, why aren't you out playing in a band and playing all this rage to an audience? Well, bands have been a part of the problem too. Oh yeah. I'm 40 years old. I know we're not going to make it anywhere. They want an 18-year-old little kid with a voice of an angel. They don't want a 40-year-old who yells and screams about all the world's injustices and idioticness. Even though I think that would be exactly what the music industry needs right now. We need a re-rise of punk rock or heavy metal to point out people's moronicness, but people have grown too soft for that shit. Too soft. Even the metalheads are too freaking scared to write that stuff. I bring them my lyrics, they're like, whoa, dude, you should probably settle down. You should probably cool off. Here, have a toke. That's one of my fucking problems with these rock bands. I get in them, and since I live near the West Coast now, everybody's a fucking stoner. So then I put these bands together, and then nobody gets anything done or remembers anything because they're all too fucking high to. I remember when pot became legalized in Washington State. At first I was like, hallelujah, I don't have to worry about freaking getting nailed by the police for no good reason because my asshole bandmate is in the passenger seat with like an eighth of marijuana. Now it's like, seriously, dude? You mean you don't remember anything I fucking told you yesterday? That's why I'm just done with these people, you know? That's a cool looking spider. Yeah, I have a higher regard for spiders and hornets now than human beings. Seriously. They're at least taking care of pests. What the hell are most of these people doing? And they get in these bands with these guys, and then you got some of them that, you know, are just toxic as hell. You got the guy, you got a whole bunch of these people. You can record an entire freaking album on a cellular phone now for free, and then release it via digital distribution by yourself, independently, which is what I would do. But no, these guys gotta have the big studio with $6,000. They gotta have a freaking album produced by Butch Vig or Jack and Dino. They gotta have an album that's got all these big names on it because only the great record companies of Hollywood will pay attention to our band if we have that professional Midas touch of a famous producer who touched rock star royalty. Oh yeah, I don't want to fucking hear it anymore. Yeah, you want to talk about special right there? What dues did you freaking pay to end up wanting to spend $6,000 on a freaking album on physical media that only 5 people will buy? Now do you see why I don't want to be in a band again? And then there's going to the gigs, and you always have the one guy who complains that there's not enough people. You got the other guy who freaking complains that there's no parking. That includes me, because I get irritated with people who can't drive. You got people who freaking show up at the gig. They're completely stoned. They're completely drunk. They can't play their instrument. They're looking over your shoulder trying to figure out what notes you're playing so they can figure out what to play. I'm so tired of it, you know? It's like... And then you got some of the people that try to stroke your ego, you know? You get in their group and they're like, I've been the golden goose on numerous occasions. Like, literally, if I walk in the band, start writing riffs for stuff, everyone else stops. And I'm like, don't stop. Keep going. This is a band, not my solo show. Come on, throw me something challenging, guys. Throw me something in your style so I can see how I can adapt to it. That's half the fun of it. I'm mad at just everybody nowadays. That's the whole problem, you know? So now you know from the lion's mouth. That's why I'm not joining a band right now. I'm so tired of it. Thankfully, since I'm married, the girl drama part of it's completely out of the picture. That's a great thing to be over. That's maybe the only breath of fresh air I have being in a band. No, wait. Because my wife has to play band manager when you guys don't show up on time. That's why. Oh, yeah. You ever heard that Paul Dean, or that Loverboy song Paul Dean sang on called Emotional? Think of that song and then think of that scenario. It drives me nuts. Yeah, and then I get to these folks like, well, don't you want to make it? Don't you want to make $1 million? I'm like, I'm over 40. I'm like past that point, dude. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this as an outlet. I'm doing this to vent my rage through my guitar, so I don't have to do things like this and go out in the middle of a field to vent my rage into my cell phone while everybody looks at me like I'm probably a psycho homeless guy. Man, you know, I deal with this stuff just constantly. You know, I would get back in another band if it wasn't for those kinds of issues. Maybe if the right people came along, or maybe if I put something together and actually vetted people well enough for once. I kind of take the attitude of Frank Zappa. I really don't care what you do in your free time, just as long as it doesn't affect the music. That's my attitude. It's so freaking annoying. So, yeah, what do I have for an outlet? Well, this. And you have nothing to be angry about. You have a roof over your head. I'm not saying my problems are any more important or any better than anybody else's. That's not what I'm saying at all. If you're reading that idiot, you're a fucking idiot. No. I'm saying this shit's fucked up. We need to fix it. But it seems like nobody has interest in fixing anything anymore because it's too much effort. I'm going to share a little bit of a trade secret with you for just about every single thing that I've done. My trade secret is this. Learn what you're doing well enough so that it's almost second nature. That's what you do. Learn it well enough. Like, let's take my computer thing. Modern or vintage. We don't care. I learned how to troubleshoot computers to a point where I'm not shortcutting steps. I can take a look at every single micro variable and figure out which ones I can bypass because we know that the result is true or not true, and that affects what the other troubleshooting is going to do. That's what I mean. Same thing with a guitar. When I pick up a guitar and I look at the neck, I can usually tell, is this the truss rod is out of whack? Are the nut slots cut too low or too high? Or are the bridge saddles set wrong? Or does the neck need a shim because the idiots at the guitar factory routed the neck pocket too deep? I'm just saying. But yeah, I go out in public these days, and it's just like people are just stupid. You go to the drive-thru, you give them a really simple order. It'll be like burger, fries, and a drink. Then they give you nuggets, onion rings, and a drink. And then it turns out you can smell the marijuana wafting out of the window, so now you know what's wrong. I was watching Life is Overrated 96 today, and he was talking about people who are a financial burden. And this kind of goes back to the band thing I was talking about with, famous producers and stuff. If I even did that part on this take, because I've done multiple takes, heaven knows. So he's talking about people who are like a financial burden, and they think I'm a burden because I don't have money to give. I'm like, yeah, because I take care of my household properly. I try not to default on my bills. I try to pay everything in full. Why do you think I get so mad on a week where I'm broke and I got bills coming up? Am I like the only person left on this entire planet with a single shred of responsibility left? I mean, that's one of the first problems I have with people: responsibility. And then they fuck it up for people like me who have to fucking talk to other people, divvy up our time so we can take care of all the responsibilities and get them done in a timely fashion. Because you walk up to them and they think you're giving pushback, especially if you're my age. Like, oh, you millennials, you don't want to get anything. I'm like, I'm not a fucking millennial, dude. I'm fucking zennial. All right? I can freaking fix your computer and I can work on cars. How about that one? Most of the guys my age, they look at my truck, they're fucking like, oh, you need to get a new car. You need to get a new car. What did you do so wrong? You're fucking up in life. What is it to you that what I own? I really have wondered this. This is why I left the guitar circles. This is why I don't get on forums to rant anymore. I get on there and you got these guys, oh, why don't you have a Gibson? You're 40. You should have a Gibson. You should have a Marshall. You should be richer like my dad. I'm like, yeah, your dad got his Gibson and Marshall back in the 80s when you could still get them for under $1,000. Yeah, not everyone's a trust fund kiddo like you with parents who freaking throw money at you. I had to build all my shit from the ground up. I had to build my stuff up. I had to save my money for at least a portion of some of the stuff when I was younger. Yeah, well, you guys were getting your Super Nintendos for Christmas. I was going halfsies on one that I'd saved up about $175 for myself. Actually, it wasn't even halfsies. It was me doing 75%. It was a $200 item. I bought my own damn Game Boy for my 10th birthday. Some of you kids, I don't want to call you kids. You're not really kids. You're grown-ups. You should know better. Which brings me around to the next word that I hate from my generation: adulting. Adulting. You know what adulting implies? It implies you're not really an adult. And some of the whiners are like, well, I don't really feel like an adult. Well, then do something about it, for fuck's sake. You know? But I don't feel like one because of my child. You know what? Nobody's excusing my fucking childhood. Nobody's excusing my shit. And I didn't grow up like the rest of you with positive reinforcement parents who just handed me everything. Oh. I had to teach myself. I had to learn myself. You think I go ahead and say college is the whole reason I know what I know? No, college was the verifier round. I taught myself beforehand. All these adventures on this channel that I've been on with machines and computers and guitars, these have all been the result of my own self-learning. None of this was taught to me by anyone. Sure, I have influences. I have people that kind of look to, but they're guidelines. Which kind of brings me back around to the band thing. Because I get in some of these bands and they want to be just like another musician. I'm like, you're 40 freaking years old. If you haven't found your own style yet, then you're never going to find your own style. The whole reason you have influences in the first place is to try and find what you want to sound like, or try and find how to get the sound that's in your head, which was my case. What, you think I want to be a neophyte Kurt Cobain or Paul Dean or Eddie Van Halen? No. I'm me. I do my own thing. I have my own style. Yes, there's elements of them there, but ultimately it's my own thing. And even though it doesn't mean anything now, because there's other people like, well, why are you still doing that at 40? It didn't work for you. Do you know how hard it is to fucking make it in the music industry, or are you that fucking daft? Right? It's not easy to make it in any industry. I remember a time when I couldn't even get a job doing IT because I didn't have certifications, because I hadn't proven myself yet. You know what I freaking did? I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and repaired computers for college students in Auburn. That's what I did. I got my happy little ass in my happy little truck, and I freaking went out and I took parts from my own computers to fix theirs. And I charged very, very competitive rates for it, because it's just starting out, to get the experience, to get the customer service experience, and that I wasn't getting at home messing with dejected old 486s and 386s. What? You thought all that shit was just for that? Huh. I kind of sometimes miss those days, because, man, there was nothing that made me happier than seeing them light up and actually, have a working computer afterward that worked like brand new. I thought it was a goner. It's 5 years old. I'm like, no. You just had too much crap sitting around the caches. And then someone installed Bonsai Buddy on it. You remember that? Bonsai Buddy? And some guy brought that back as like the voice of Bonnie from Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh god, that was horrid. It's just, it's an embarrassment life. And then you probably are going to have some people come in here from the Life is Overrated 96 thing, if they even see this or even give a shit, which I doubt anybody really does, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this. Yeah, and they're going to be like, well, you're a corporate simp because you're working for a living. Not a simp. It's called fulfilling your responsibilities as an adult. You see, I don't do adulting. I'm an adult. I come in early. Sometimes I stay late. That's what you do. And I get exactly done what needs to get done. Sometimes I will go above and beyond. If you're nice. If, And I'm not saying all people are trash here either. I mean, there are some good folks out there. I know there are. It's just, it seems like a heck of a lot of them are getting overshadowed by assholes lately. But I don't want to talk about work. I want to talk about the other crap. Let's talk about going to the store, because that's another one of my pet peeves I can't stand with that involves other people. You're going to the store these days? Oh my god. First off, it's like playing real life arcade games. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. Going through the parking lot's like Frogger, because nobody knows how to drive or park. I almost get hit almost every time, and I'm being totally aware and paying all attention. I think there were 3 times in the last year I almost jumped on the hood of someone's car and kicked their windshield out because I got literally sick of them almost running me over multiple times. I'm like, seriously, can you get the hell off your damn phone and drive? Then when you finally get to the store, there's always someone who's got some fundraiser or something, and I always feel bad because I don't have cash on me at the time. But at the same time, you know that awkward feeling. Girl Scout cookies, you're like, oh, well, I don't need that for my belly. And then but the poor chick she's not going to get her money for whatever fundraiser. You feel like a complete asshole. But at the same time, you know that this wasn't exactly your calling today. You're working on a limited budget. Then you get in the store, and it's like how I imagine hell is going to be. It's just asses and elbows everywhere. And I shouldn't say that's what hell's gonna be. I don't even believe in that shit anymore. You expect me to believe in a magical cloud man in the sky who loves you, but he's gonna send you a cesspit, a fire, and damnation. But he loves you. I know I stole that from Carlin. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, you go to the store, you got the guy with COVID who refuses to wear a mask because he doesn't believe masks exist, but he obviously has COVID because he's sneezing all over the freaking canned goods. You got the idiots who should probably learn what condoms are with like 15 kids, and they're all climbing the rack, and it feels like you're playing a human game of Donkey Kong just to get the toilet paper. You got the waddlers down the aisle. Oh, you want to know what makes me hate millennials and Gen Z so bad? And I'm not being ageist. I'm just saying this is the majority of the age group that's in there. I'm sure there's other folks who are like me who feel this way too. You know, you get like the group of college girls are all arm to arm, wandering around just like this. And then they're trying to take a selfie. I'm like, wow, you're in a Safeway. That seems very impressive for your Insta. Get the heck out of here. I need to get some freaking noodles for my spaghetti before the wife starts calling me 100 times. No consideration for other people. No consideration for other people. Yeah, so, and then you have like the toxic male who's probably going to drop in the comments about that comment. You know, those assholes. And he's going to be like, you should have been looking at their asses. I'm like, I'm a married man, all right? And I'm a faithful guy. I'm a good guy. I don't freaking cheat. That means I also don't freaking look. No, when I walk in that store, you to me are just another obstacle. I want to get in, get out, and get home. I'm even like this with the guitar store now. It drives me nuts. I go in there, there's nothing I want because I know I could build it at home for like 1/4 of the price. Don't you want this new Fender Jaguar limited edition? I'm like, don't even tell me about it. I have a Jaguar at home that I can trace. I have a neck, multiple 24-inch scale necks, mind you, with the profile I like that I can trace. I can wind my own pickups. I can spot my own pickups. I can make my own wiring. I can do every kind of wiring that a freaking luthier could do, including series, parallel, coil split, coil tap. Yeah. It's just annoying as hell to me, you know, dealing with people nowadays. You know, and then you go leave the store and you have to wait in the long line, and there's always the grandma who has to pay with the check, and there's always the other guy who doesn't have enough funds. I'm like, didn't you check your bank account before you left? I don't know how to use my phone. Learn how to. It's not that hard. I got a person standing in front of me, their kid's being a creepo. They're looking at me like I'm a creepo just for being there. And I'm just like, can I please just pay for my shit and go home? That's why I love the self-checkout. Nothing about taking jobs away from people. God bless the horrid people checkout clerks have to deal with every day. You know, is anybody also sick and tired of this term Karens? Yeah, in this YouTube video. I wonder how many people are going to gather around and start watching me soon. I should probably do this from the mountaintop next time. Anyway, yeah, I mean, the term Karens, if I was Karen right now, I would change your name. Because not every Karen's a freaking pain in the neck. My first kiss was a Karen. My nicest aunt was named Karen. Just because someone's named Karen doesn't make them a Karen. How about we call these awful, horrible women what they really are? Cunts. Oh, I know I'm going to get canceled for that one, but whatever. It's another thing I can't stand, cancel culture. You want to just cancel everybody. If they piss you off, guess what? I get pissed off every fucking day. I bite my tongue till it bleeds sometimes. I'm offended so freaking much, you know, if you heard my inner monologue, you probably would be saying, you must really think you're special. The truth is I know that's stupid. So I shut up and move on with life. And you assholes just continue to fucking keep stabbing the knife despite it. Oh, I can't stand people anymore. Yeah, get over it. The world offends you. It offends everyone. This prison life, this one world toilet. Life isn't a gift, it's a curse. You have to feel, you have to think, you have sicknesses that you have to deal with. You have to consider everybody else's feelings. If you put yourself first, you're painted as a selfish asshole. If you put everybody else first, you're seen as a wuss and a simp. Everyone's got a goddamn opinion. Everyone's got an opinion, including me. And I've kept my mouth shut all this time. Because I know that no lasting good comes from it. But I'm thinking I maybe now have found my group of voices that I belong with. The people who understand this, okay? I'm kind of a misanthrope. I do not like people very much. And people don't understand that either. It's a journey. It's not a destination. It's not a state of mind. It's a journey. Do you think people want to become that? Do you think that's their goal in life? To not be able to stand humanity as a whole? No, all of us wish we could love humanity and just get along with it just fine. No, it's a journey. You go through almost like the 5 stages of grief with it. Denial, anger, sadness, acceptance, the whole enchilada. You know, when I start feeling that way, I'm like, I don't want to go out in public anymore. People piss me off. So then I choose not to, but I still can't avoid it, so I do. Yeah, you can't avoid buying groceries. You can't avoid getting stuff for your dishwasher. You can't avoid all that shit. No, you can't. You have to take care of things in life, whether you want to or not. That's what being an adult is, not adulting. I know I'm being a little cyclic and disjointed. None of this is scripted. This is all just me, literally thoughts, feelings I've had, things I bite my tongue about every day that I want to freaking sometimes even yell at people. Yeah. And I gotta love some people's definition of adulting as things like drinking and smoking and all that shit. I'm like, I got news for you, all right? I had my first cigarette when I was 9. I had my first sip of beer when I was 9. I came from a medical family. The first girl I ever heard of who got pregnant underage was a 9-year-old. Yeah, I have been completely well-versed in the horrors of the world far longer than some of you people have on this planet, I swear. And yes, I know I'm directing this at the viewer who's going to take it. Nobody's fucking special. We're just put on this planet by irresponsible, quote-unquote, adults who think they're adulting by fucking, and then they put us here, and then they get angry when they find out they have responsibility, which comes down to the other things I can't stand about humans: responsibility and accountability. They have no accountability. They're like, oh, I had this kid, and this kid turned out to be trash. Well, that's your fault. Maybe you shouldn't have been a judgmental, horrid, awful, yelling, screaming parent who can't freaking stand a kid. Maybe you shouldn't even have had the kid to begin with. Or maybe you should have realized that parenting's a hard job. I think it should require a test, honestly. So I'm kind of, you know, let's just outright say it. I'm an antinatalist too. I'm so tired of, the idea of people having kids. I wouldn't be against it if people could be actually good parents. And I love how they say, "Well, you can't judge. You're not a parent." I'm like, yeah, because I was smart enough to realize that's a hard freaking job, and I don't want to freaking be the responsible for basically creating another horrid human to wander this planet. Is that so wrong? And then there's some people who try to drag the marriage. My wife was on my side on that one. She's with me. And what's fucked up is when she's dealing with that on her own, you got all these judgmental nanny panties with like 5 freaking kids going, "Well, doesn't your husband want any kids? Doesn't your husband want any kids?" I'm like, no. And stop speaking for me. Oh, your husband's going to leave you if you don't have kids. I'm not going to fucking leave you. I'll leave you if you have kids. I have standards. For Christ's sake. I wouldn't have married her if we didn't match up. Yeah, I have so much bullshit on the fucking planet with that. Yeah, because if you don't have the power to raise a good kid, then don't be a parent. Plain and simple. There's a reason I didn't study to become a doctor. I knew I wouldn't be good at it, for one. Yeah, that's kind of what my family tried to push me towards. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to be doing that. You want to be doing this. It's scarcity. Yeah, I didn't become an engineer because I knew, well, I might be good at designing stuff. There's a certain element to my element of designing stuff that probably would argue with people who are actual engineers. So, well, the science says this. Well, why does it work? And there we go. How long are we going now? Yeah, we're up here at about 37 minutes. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, we get on the guitar forums, and I get in these arguments now with the with the people. And I quit OSG, by the way, because of this kind of crap. Because then you have the one section. Everybody's against each other nowadays. It freaking annoys the hell out of me. That's why I can't stand people. Another reason I can't stand people. Nobody can agree to disagree anymore. You know? I don't have to like you. You don't have to like me. Just leave me the fuck alone and I'll leave you the fuck alone. That's the way that works. It's like the people who used to come in and leave flame comments on my videos. I was like, oh yeah, well, then why the hell are you hanging here if you think it's a disaster? There's a X right up there. You can just click on it and close your window. Or maybe it's over there since this video is reversed. I'm so tired of dealing with people nowadays. You got the Democrat and Republican argument. I don't like politics to begin with, but when we do talk politics, I'm neither a Republican nor a Democrat nor a libertarian nor a communist nor a socialist. I don't like any of them. I hate all 4 of them because they're stupid. They have no root in logic and reason. They have root in what I call football politics, which is basically you root for your team for good or for bad, and then when they don't win, you get absolutely horridly angry and start trashing the other team. That's how it works. Whereas, if you're me, you're going to pick the candidate who's the most fucking qualified. And I got news for you. A lot of the people who freaking get in the office are not qualified for their job, I must say. Ugh. But yeah, I go around town with these freaking people, and I got to be careful what shirt I wear, because if I freaking show up somewhere and I got something on that panders to the Republican Party or something that panders to the Democrat Party, it would be the most innocent thing, from a guitar brand to even monster truck shirts. I mean, shoot. As long as some group, yeah, COVID isn't real and Trump was great. Trump 2024, yeah. I'm like, yeah, fuck Trump. He set this country back 50 years in 4 years. The most impressive thing he ever did was ruin things even worse. Oh, you must be a liberal. You like Sleepy Joe. I'm like, no, I'm not really too fond of him either. But at least he's sleepy enough that I can actually deal with it. I don't miss every night being the Trump story. I don't. Yeah, this is like, God, well, you must be a communist or a socialist. No, I already know the human condition is completely gained toward risk for reward. I mean, come on, take a look at our business system. Take a look at our society. Take a look at how it works. It's all risk for reward. That's what human beings are about. And anyone who doesn't believe that is freaking stupid. Okay? I already know it. I don't believe in any of those ideologies. They just don't work. They're nice to think about, a happy world where everybody gets along and everybody's communal and everyone can just be, nice to each other, but I know that's unrealistic and will never happen, ever. I have none of them. Some people say, oh, well, libertarian hat fits you well. I'm like, yeah, and then people start calling you a conspiracy theorist. Just because of the freaking fact that you freaking identify with that one party. Because they're called the alt-right. That's when I quietly just go, peace, I'm getting out of here, man. And I'm not a hippie either. I got news for you. Some people on this planet really need to die. I know it's awful truth, but it's true. So, and like, yeah, what you have is a free commune for syphilis, all right? Yeah, I don't want to freaking hear it. Yeah, I belong to my own thing. That's always how it's been. That's always how it will be, and that's just it, Probably soon time to answer the wife on the phone and probably, get the heck out of here before people start going, what are you doing over here? Because this isn't near my place at all. So I think I've vented enough for today. This is CreepingNet, signing out. See you in the next video.